If you feed nature balanced limited ingredients, you're going to want to listen to this. Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm a certified dog trainer, canine behaviorist, and nutritionist, and I have some thoughts about this. So if you're new here, I normally scour through the website, try to find things that are cool about the company, things that I want to highlight. Nothing really to highlight here. Now, limited ingredient diets are kind of an interesting thing for dogs who have sensitivities or allergies because the point of it is it only has one sort of animal protein in it. So if you know that your dog does well with chicken, it's supposed to only have chicken and not beef, where a lot of other recipes have beef and chicken. So let's cover this one first. It's the grain-free salmon and sweet potato. When we look at the ingredients list, there's a lot of red ingredients. So salmon, usually if we're gonna see some sort of animal protein first, that's gonna be in a green. Our fish meal and our sweet potatoes lend themselves into yellow. The fish meal because it's a meal, the sweet potato because it's a carb, but at least it's a whole carb, whereas you start to see things like potato protein, that's gonna be an already processed version of this starch. So a lot of the red ingredients are gonna be low quality ingredients, splitted, or just filler ingredients. When we look at the guaranteed analysis, we see that we have a protein content of 24%. This is, I guess, okay. I like to see high 20s, so 27 and above, because the lower your protein, the higher your carb content is going to be typically. So this one's sitting at about 44 to 51% carbs. That's a lot more carbs than you have protein. And again, this is just an estimate because they don't tell us how many carbs. The next recipe that we'll be looking at is a lamb and brown rice. This one just happens to be for large breeds. We see not as many red ingredients, but also kind of more limited ingredients, a fewer quantity of ingredients before we get to all of the junk synthetic vitamins and minerals. So again, we have that first protein, which is lamb, then we have a meal, which is a processed version of the lamb, brown rice, so carb, but at least it's whole. And then of course, some ingredients splitted, already processed ingredients there. We are lower in the protein content here, which is interesting because this is for large breed dogs, and 43 to 52% of our carbs. And the last one we'll be taking a look at is the grain-free chicken and sweet potato recipe. Kind of the same thing here. We have that one green ingredient, which is going to be shrunken down because it hasn't gone through processing yet. Then we have the processed version of it, so it's going to be higher in quantity after it goes through. We still have quite a few red processed ingredients, which I don't love, especially that canola oil, and especially this one doesn't have chicken fat. The other ones had, this one has chicken fat, not canola oil. The other ones had canola oil, but especially this natural flavor. You think the word natural, we think, oh, that must be better. But natural could be anything that's naturally occurring. Doesn't necessarily mean it's good or that I want my dog to eat it. We took a step back up in the protein content, so back to that 24%, which is better. So sitting at about 44 to 51% carbs here. So all in all, I don't love the, in my opinion, low protein content of any of these foods, and I don't like how many processed ingredients we have. I always like to try to go for least processed as possible for my dogs or my clients' dogs as well. So I'm gonna give this guy a D-.